Okay. Okay, that's the unofficial. How to get to know every one of you guys. And actually, that's what the business school is about. You have to know the people around you first, so you can build the teamwork, or you can build the opportunities around you. So, well, actually, today's session is the class trial. Usually we call it demo class. Today we are lucky to have Dr. Trin, Trin, to be our lecturer today. He is graduated from University of Cambridge, a master degree of innovation and strategy, and a PhD for management. And his specialization is this: strategy, team building. So I think we are so lucky to have him here today with us. And he's gonna do the demo class for us for half hours. And then after that, we will have another session to tell you about what is the CMMU is about, how many specialization that we are offered here. And then after that, we're going to talk about a little bit about what is the admission requirement and how much is it and how is your life here. And then we are divided into group, and we will have another 3 Ajahns or 3 professors to come join us afterward, so that you guys can meet and greet them and ask them directly, what do you have in mind? Okay, that's what we're gonna have today. Okay, so now please welcome Ajahn Trin ครับ
Thank you very much ครับ So let me introduce myself a little bit. I joined CMMU in 2016 after I graduated my PhD. So my background actually, my undergraduate degree is international relations from Chulalongkorn University, because I want to be a diplomat, but then I changed my mind. So I convert. I have a software engineer career as well. So I went to Cambridge in the year 2000 to study another master in computer science there. And then when I came back, I worked in management consultancy for 7 years as Asst, and also under fiscal policy research institute of Ministry of Finance, กระทรวงการคลัง. And then, I went back to study for my master and PhD. So this topic is part of my course for leadership and negotiation. Okay, this topic is part of that. So I just want you to get a flavor of how we teach here at CMU. But I hope that this session is going to be benefit for you as well. Whether you're not going to come as a student for us, it can be useful for you when you're going to work with your colleagues. Okay, so we're going to talk about how you can create a high performance team that can perform and work very well together and deliver results. Okay, so we're going to start with the case of Apple. So I'm sure that everyone of you knows Steve Jobs, right? Know Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs once said that Apple is considered the biggest startup in the world. Is the biggest startup in the world. When you talk about startup, what comes to your mind? Startup, team, startup. Apple as startup. When you talk startup, BitCup, Flash Express, Airbnb startup, what comes to your mind? New company, and then innovative companies, a new company. Is it big or small? Startup, they tend to be small, right? But Apple said that we are the biggest startup. Do you believe him? He considers himself biggest startup in the world. Because Apple is very big, right? Very big, very successful one. But he claimed that it is very big because at Apple, they work as a team base. And the team base is the culture of working in startup, in any startup. And so this is his word, okay? As the biggest startup.
Keys to Apple is Apple's an incredibly collaborative company. And so, you know how many committees we have at Apple?
No.
0. We have no committees.
No committees.
We are organized like a startup. One person's in charge of iPhone OS software. One person's in charge of Mac hardware. One person's in charge of iPhone hardware engineering. Another person's in charge of worldwide marketing. Another person's in charge of operations. We're organized like a startup.
Okay, so he's claimed that Apple is the biggest startup because at Apple we don't have formal committees. Do you work as a committees? Most companies tend to set up a committees, working groups, things like that. But at Apple, it's informal committees, no committees at all. So they work as a team. When they want to launch, for example, iPhone 15, they're gonna bring one person from products, one person from design, one person from service, and then launch it together. Even the new products like Apple Vision Pro, they're gonna bring the best, the expert in each one, in each department to work as a team. And that's why they need people who perform very well in team. Because if they cannot work together, they cannot deliver the products that Apple promised. So even he passed away, this culture at Apple still holds on with Tim Cook. If you listen to Tim Cook online, Tim Cook always said that we work as a team as well. It's about collaboration. But if you want to know more, there are two different styles between Steve Jobs and Tim Cook. That's another story. But the culture of working as a team is very important for new roles. Every day is that we need to work as a team more and more. And now we're going to go on to this topic today here. And this is he said, for him, both Steve Jobs and Tim Cook said that he never want his life met a person who can deliver one good product by himself or herself. In the end, one of the best products is a combination of team members that help contribute with each part and then deliver the whole team. So that is very important. And so today, we only have about 20 minutes. So there are two objectives for these sessions. The first one is to look for one key success factor that can help to create high performance team. Okay, that is one. And there is one mini case that you're gonna have class activities together. Okay, that you can do. What are the recipes for success for Google and SNL? Okay, let me start with the SNL and Google. SNL, I'm not sure whether how many of you know the program called Saturday Night Live. Okay, anyone heard about SNL, Saturday Night Live? Okay, could you please explain a little bit more about Saturday Night Live? Okay. Comedy show, yes. Okay. Okay. This program is very successful because it first ran from 1975 and then until now, about almost 50 years, it's still on show. Okay, so it means that they get some kind of like acceptance from the viewers. Okay, so I'm going to show you this because this is Alec Baldwin play Donald Trump to play and then to mock him. Okay, this is the format of Saturday Night Live.
It's a 90-minute debate.
My microphone is broken. Not many people know this, but that man is her husband. And in 1998, get this, he had an affair. It's true. My investigators are looking into it right now.
I would like to begin today by...
Do you know her? This person? Do you recognize her? She is in Little Mermaid, the latest one as well. She is, you know her? She is Melissa McCarthy, who plays the Ursula villain. She is. So she plays the speaker of President Trump. So that's why they bring in many celebrities and stars to play and mock people. Okay, this is Saturday Night Live.
Apologizing on behalf
little Kushball, Jared Kushner.
You're unbelievable.
And this guy plays Trump's son-in-law. And this, I'm sure that you know, who is this? It's Vladimir Putin, right? Okay. So they mock everyone.
Здравствуй and hello, America. Yesterday, we all made Donald Trump the 45th president of the United States. Hooray, we did it!
Okay, so this gives you an idea about Saturday Night Live, but this is not about Saturday Night Live. It's about the recipe of success or recipe for disaster for Saturday Night Live and Google here. If you think that, do you see the format of this show? It has been run for almost 50 years. It has to be successful, right? But if you imagine the first episode, the first seasons, okay, they are not sure whether they're going to be successful or not. Okay, they don't know whether it's going to be successful or not. So this is the room. This is a room for the writer for the comedy skits. So they sat together and then they have to brainstorm the ideas for the show. And most of them hate each other. Most of them hate each other, and they want to compete for the parts of the shows, right? If you were the writers, you want your ideas to be on the show the first day, right? You want that one, and you hate your colleagues. Do you think that you work with someone you hate? Can you? Have you any experience working with your enemy? Mickey, have you ever worked with someone that you hate? Sometimes you like the experience. No, you hate it, right? Okay. And what about you? Have you ever experienced working with someone that you hate in a team? No? Okay. And do you think, is it easy or difficult to work in the team like that? Easy, or who said that it's quite difficult, challenging? Working with, you think it's challenging, right? So when you have a group of people that hate each other, and it's going to be the recipe for disaster, that is not going to work, right? But if you look at this, it turns out to be the opposite way. It works. But how does it work? How does the team gel and work together here?
Imagine that you've walked into the writer's room of the first season of Saturday Night Live. In one corner is John Belushi, who the night before had left an unattended joint smoldering on the table at a castmate's house and had set his room on fire. In the other corner, there's a writer who right now is up to his gills in a different recreational drug and is bouncing off the walls. And in between are people who will become some of the most famous comedy writers in history, but who right now appear to hate each other.
Everyone in that room is competing to get their skits selected to be put on the air that week. This is a recipe, you might think, for disaster. And yet what we all know is that Saturday Night Live wasn't a disaster. It was amazing. In fact, it's been amazing for 40 years. So how? Why did that team come together? To examine it, I not only looked at Saturday Night Live, but I also went to Google.
Okay, so the video creator of this one is Charles Duhigg, the one who wrote best-selling books called Habits. So he said that he has this question: how can you turn a team of enemies, someone who hate each other, into a high-performance team? This is his question. And then he went to Google, and Google actually has an internal consulting project about how to find the best ingredient to make team work together and make team turn into a high performance team. And this is the details of Google. You can search for Google Rework project. In 2016, Google tried to experiment with their staff. They form a team because Google work with team-based a lot of teams. So they try to set up, experiment 180 teams around the world, in Australia, in Japan, around the world. and then they try to mix the team together from the size of team of 3 to team of 50, 50. So because they want to know what are the factors that gonna deliver the high performance team, whether the size of the team matter or the people in the team matter. So this is the experiment, and actually they found that these are the next slides I'm going to show you. What are the key ingredients or recipe for success for Google? But before that, I'm going to ask you, can you guess what would be the factor that create this kind of high performance team? No right or wrong in my class. You can speak your mind. You can guess. Okay, no right or wrong. Okay, from the team of the juries. Okay, what would be the success ingredient that gonna make team work together? No right or wrong. Just in your experience, you think that the age gonna be the same or different? Different. You mean that okay? Team with the young generation mixed with the other generations, it's gonna make it work. Okay, that's one thing. This table cup. Level of dislikeness. What does it mean? Come? To what extent that you hate each other or you like each other? Okay, so if you like each other in the team, you think it's okay. Also, the level of like talkative level in the team, that if you talk too much, team won't work. You think like that? Okay, that table cup. Min said the understanding of each other in the team. Okay, gonna come back to that later. That one. Yes. Creativity of the person. Okay, so the length of talk for each person, the understanding of the team and the age, and this one cup. No. What, when you work with your friends, what team with your past teams, what are the drivers? What are the factors that you think this team work because of this and that? Open communication between people in the team, right? This one come. You can give feedback to the team, right? Last one. The goal. If the team share common goals, okay. So I'm going to show you that there are many factors, but the most important factor that they found is this one. From this video.
I learned that for the last 4 years, at a cost of millions of dollars, that giant technology company had been studying how to build the perfect team. The best teams, Google found, are the ones where people can bring their full selves to work, where they can say things that are important to them in a meeting and there's not going to be any negative consequences. In addition, you have to have ostentatious listening.
Okay, so they said that they found 3 key factors that shared among the best team, the best high performance team at Google. The first one is that the team that work well together is the team members can bring themselves, the whole self to the team to work, whether they are LGBT, whether they are rich or poor, okay, they are themselves. They don't have to hide behind someone else. Okay, the first one. And the second one is that everyone in the team can speak confidently. And because they believe that the team will not, okay, harm them, will not challenge them, they can speak confidently. And the last one is that when they speak, that team members gonna actively listen to them. Ostentatious listening means actively listening to them. So these are the 3 factors that lead to the most important factor in any team. It's called psychological safety of team. Psychological safety means that you feel safe. In psychologically, in psychology, because you believe that, okay, we can trust each other in the team. So this is the most important factor that lead to the high performance team.
The best teams, Google found, are the ones where people can bring their full selves to work, where they can say things that are important to them in a meeting and there's not going to be any negative consequences. In addition, you have to have ostentatious listening behaviors, showing that everyone is listening to each other by picking up on nonverbal cues or drawing people into the conversation. When these two things come together, they create psychological safety. And that, Google found, is what makes a team suddenly become this amazing group that gets things done that no individual could accomplish.
Okay.
Which brings us back to Saturday.
Okay, so this is the factor that they found. Psychological safety is the most important factors that create high performance team. Now I'm going to show you and I'm going to link to the activities today. Here. Today is psychological safety is very important as the most important ingredients to build trust in team. So, and how can you foster or create psychological safety? Okay, how can you create this one? They say that there are two very simple ways. At least these are the two things that I hope you can use it when you come back to work. Two factors, the two things that you can do is that the first thing is you have to give the team members equal airtime, speaking time, right? Equal airtime. Google found that when people in the team speak, for example, is the team of 5, one person dominates 90% of the talking in the meeting, that team gonna fail. Why is that? When people dominate the team, speak 90% of the time, that team gonna fail. Why? Why? It means that others cannot challenge him or her, right? Okay, they don't feel trust to challenge that person, so they let that person speak all the time. Okay, and if that person make the wrong decision, the whole team fail. And that's why they said that equal airtime is very important. It reflects that the way, the level that people trust in the team. So it means that leaders in the team should be a good moderator to let everyone speak around the same time, give a voice to the person who are very quiet. Okay, you need to do that. And the second one is that once you allow someone to speak, the rest need to pay attention. So it means that at Google, they said that if you are managers, when you talk to your team members, you have to close down your laptop. You cannot do like this. Okay, okay, again? What does it mean when you do like this? Search your live, Facebook, TikTok while listening, because you believe that you can multitask, right? Okay, but people don't feel like you listen to them. So that's why you have to show them that you listen to them carefully. That's why these are the two factors. Allow them to speak equally and also listen to them carefully. It's going to give them trust and then give them psychological safety in the team. Okay, so now these are the two important factors. Now I want you to have a very quick exercise. You're going to do a quick exercise to test your psychological safety among your pair. Okay, two of them, A and B, A and B and B. Okay, I'm going to count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, and 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. You can join them, okay, okay. So could you please pair up with your 1 and 2? Pair up, okay. At CMU, we're gonna do lots of activities like this. You're gonna pair up and then meet new friends. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, okay, okay. Briefly, you have to. You're gonna try to do this. It's called Lisa Rose Blackpink game. Okay, the A gonna be Lisa, the B gonna be Rose Blackpink. Okay, so easy. I'm gonna give you only 1 minute. Lisa gonna share your story, 1 minute story, the happiest story in your life to be Rose. Okay, this is not in my class, in my real class. I'm not gonna ask you to. This is very easy topic. In my class, I'm gonna ask you to share your first love. But this one, because you don't know each other that well, okay, it's not about first love. It's about your happiest moment in your life. 1 minute, right? Lisa is gonna tell the most happiest moment in your life to Rose. But Rose, you need to use your acting skill. You have to do anything to show Lisa that you don't listen. You can do anything that to let them know that I don't listen to you. Okay, very easy. I'm gonna give you think about how you're gonna act that I don't listen. Okay, and so I give you only 1 minute. Okay, Lisa, tell story. Lisa, Rosie, don't listen. Okay, and Lisa have to think, observe your feeling. Both sides observe your feeling in that cup. Don't have to tell the real story. But if you want to share the real story, the happiest moment is easier to share, right? But the first love maybe is too difficult. Okay, for strangers. Yeah. Okay. So you just joined. Okay. We do activities that one person has to share the others, but you can join them, listen to them. Okay, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So listen to them. Could you please tell the other? So I'm gonna count 1 minute. 1, 2, 3. Start. Rose, don't listen. Try anything. Okay. Ten seconds left. Okay, time's up, guys. Time's up. And now, since we don't have much time, I want you to reflect what you think, Lisa, when you try to tell your stories, but the other side won't listen to you. Okay, could you please share your feeling? Why you feel upset? Why? What did she do? Okay, how did she do? Not pay attention. Look at her mobile phone all the time, right? Okay, she felt upset. That one cup. Yeah, feel upset at herself. Okay, what is your strategy? You're not listening to her. Strategy. Drawing. Okay, I'm drawing, doing something instead. So this is just since we don't have much time. In my real class, you have to take turn. The other way around is time payback time. Okay, it's payback time, and also you need to. There is also another switch. The third round to pay, and Rose need to pay attention. The third round to pay attention, and you see the difference between the 3 sessions. But these are the ideas that in the end, it doesn't matter whether if you want to create atmosphere, trusting environment, psychological safety, the easiest way to pay attention and listen to the other side, show signals that you really listening to them. So this is the most important thing. And finally, before we finish the class, I'm gonna let you go back to the case of SNL. Why SNL become successful? Because he has a good moderator, the team leader, that moderate everyone to talk at the same time, at the same equal amount of time, and then let the voice be heard. Okay, this is
Night Live. Why did that show come together? Why did that team gel? The magic was Lorne Michaels, the executive producer and creator of Saturday Night Live. When you sit down at a meeting with Lorne Michaels, Lorne won't let anyone get up from the table until everyone has spoken. He goes out of his way to demonstrate that every single person in that room has to be involved in the conversation, and that when you say something, he and everyone else are listening as closely as they can. That's why Saturday Night Live works. Not because you have a bunch of people who like each other, not because you take the tension out of the room. The way that you make them into a team, by creating psychological safety. And when you do that, you can not only make one of the longest running, most successful television shows in history, you can build a company like Google, you can do anything.
Okay, that is the secret recipe of Saturday Night Live at Google Found. It's psychological safety. It's not about people who like each other, people who hate each other. It's about not generations. It's not. It's about how the team work together. The team that has psychological safety gonna have an edge, have a potential to be high performance team. So let me conclude my teaching today. So lesson learned today, I gave you about what are the key success factors for high performance team. It's not about who in the team. It's about how the team is run, and the team can be run better by just giving equal airtime. And also, when everyone speaks, you have to listen carefully. Okay, I hope that you remember the experience when someone don't listen to you. You're gonna feel very annoying, and then you don't trust, and you don't want to talk to them anymore. So, and the team, I want to end my session with this quote. Simon Sinek is the one who wrote this book, Start With Why. So a team is not a group of people who work together, but the team is the one who trust each other. So that's why psychological safety is very important to build trust. So thank you very much for your time. Okay, thank you.
So thank you very much, Kapachan Trin. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I just learned that too. Psychological safety. Yeah. And actually, we're gonna move to another session. ขอบคุณนะครับอาจารย์ครับ Okay, let me introduce you one of our professor, Ajahn Randall. He is the head of marketing specialization at CMMU here. He's really have deep knowledge about the marketing and communication, and he's gonna give us a little bit brief about what is a CMU life is like here. So please welcome Ajahn Randall Club.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. And this is very informal, laid back, relaxed. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about the big picture of CMMU, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers. If you have any questions about anything, we'll do our best to answer. I've been with CMMU for 20 years. I've been in Thailand for 30 years. Can I speak Thai? Heck no. Long do. Yeah, I can speak Thai very well. I studied linguistics for my bachelor's degree because I wanted to go to Asia and I wasn't sure where. So just to be careful, I studied Japanese, I studied Chinese, I studied German, I studied Spanish. So yeah, English didn't count. They didn't count English. But anyway, after I got my bachelor's degree, I went on and I studied a master's degree. And eventually I studied a PhD in marketing. That's a pretty rare animal, I must say. Not a lot of people do that. So you're here to listen to the international program. We have a Thai program. If you're interested, international program is a little bit different. For one thing, we sit in groups. We don't have this many groups in a class. We try to limit the class to about 30 people. And so we have maybe 5 groups sitting in the class each session. And the way that works is maybe I teach marketing 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So we don't put 100 people in one class. We have 2 classes or 3 classes of 25 or 30 people. And that's how CMMU works, because we want it to be like Ajahn Trin just did. We have some activities, we have some interaction. You're not just listening to a lecture, although it sounds like we are. Shh, please join us. Thank you. Student engagement is very important. So if you study the international program, you're going to have smaller class sizes compared to the Thai program. It will be more interactive. Both of the programs have activities. We have events. I have an event tomorrow. Ken and Barbie is the theme. Yeah, so we're all going to wear pink and we're going to have some activities and basically create a buddy system between the older students and the newer students. We do this every term as part of our networking, trying to get people to get to know each other. So you'll have guest speakers, you'll have company visits. These are all optional, you don't have to. About 90% of our students are working. So we have classes on the evenings, in the weekdays, and on the weekends like today, it'd be morning and afternoon. And you have some flexibility to choose when you would like to take a class. So as I said, maybe I teach marketing on Sunday afternoon, but I also teach it on Wednesday evening, Thursday evening. So which day would you like? And basically, I don't really mind. If you can't come on Sunday, you can come on Wednesday. It doesn't matter. It's the same teacher. But anyways, you have some flexibility. You have the exchange programs. We have double degree programs, which I'll tell you briefly about. We're very proud to be in the AACSB. That may not mean a lot to you, but it's a pretty big deal for us and for education in general. If we want to find a partner, they won't partner with us if we don't have AACSB. And it's not easy. It took us many years to get this. If you're familiar with the way factories get some sort of certification like ISO, it's somewhat similar. So they're saying we have quality control, we have standards, we have, close the loop, we have feedback, we go through this and it's continuous improvement. And it's a big headache, to be honest, but we got the AACSB and we're very proud of that. We have a lot of speakers who come in from different companies. And again, sometimes we have company visits. So we might bring in the MD of Unilever, or we might take you to Unilever if you want to go. Sometimes we go out to Swarovski, we've gone out to Siam Winery. Sometimes we go to a spa. It depends on who's organizing the event. And the same thing for the speaker. So if I'm organizing an event, it might be something from branding or from an ad agency. If John Simon from finance is organizing the event, it might be somebody from central, but related to finance, or it might be about cryptocurrency or something like that. And these would be optional again. Usually they're set up to be on the weekend. We have a couple of options. You don't have to do this, okay? You're studying at CMMU, your program is about 18 to 19 months. Basically, we have 5 terms. We're on a trimester. So you take 3 classes per term, you finish up totally with 15 classes, depending on what option you choose. But if you're interested, you can also consider these. So you can get a double degree with Macquarie in Sydney, or a double degree with UTS in Sydney. UTS is only for the marketing students. Macquarie is for any of the students except for health and wellness. They don't have a health and wellness program. And then Toulouse is only for the general management program. There's benefits and drawbacks to these. So if you want to go to Macquarie or Toulouse, you basically study with us for a couple of terms, and then you go study in Australia or France for a year. If it's with Toulouse, you don't have to pay anything extra. So that's a pretty big deal. If it's with Macquarie, you have to pay extra, but they do have scholarship. If it's with UTS, again, only for the marketing students, you study all your 5 terms here first, and then you go there for 1 term. You're basically getting about 70% discount. They have scholarship as well. So instead of studying for 3 terms there, you only study for 1 term. Instead of taking 12 classes, you only take 4 classes. So it's a pretty good deal if you want to get a double degree. What do you gain from a double degree? A nice looking resume. What do you actually gain from a double degree? International living experience. I wouldn't say that you're going to learn anything amazingly new or different studying in another country, right? Maybe they have some courses that we don't offer. Maybe they have something like gamification, or they have pricing or something like that. But for the most part, whatever you study here, you could study there. Not going to be that different, but it is a good experience, a very good experience. And a lot of times it does look good on your resume if you want to consider this. Personally, I like UTS between the 2 options because UTS is right in the city. It's a little bit like being at Thammasat Thapprajan, except closer to downtown. But that sort of thing, you can just walk in and out of campus. There's no walls, there's no gateways, and you can walk to the Opera House. You can take the train from the airport right to the campus. It's very convenient. I'm not quite as crazy about Macquarie because it's a little bit like AIT. So it's, I don't know, in my opinion, it's kind of banal. It's far away. You have to ride in the van. And I'm not that crazy about that in terms of life of a student, where you're probably going to be somewhere in an apartment within the city using the train system. But anyways, things to look at. We have about 40 different partners for exchange program. That's fantastic. But on the other hand, I understand about 90% of our students are working, so it might be a little bit difficult to take the time off, but there's a lot of flexibility. So you could go for one entire term, or you could go for a shorter term. So maybe you go for 1 month, or maybe that's still too long. You can go for 1 week. Wow. Sometimes they have really accelerated programs where maybe you study 40 hours in 1 week. Wow. Yeah, it's optional, you know, but these are nice options to have. We also have about 100 exchange students who come study with us each year. So you're going to have some interesting diversity within the class. I would say in general, without the exchange program, we have 30 people in the class. Maybe about 20 of those people will be Thai. Aside from the Thai, maybe a couple of people will be from Myanmar, maybe a couple of people will be from China, maybe 1 or 2 might be from Vietnam or Philippines or Indonesia or something like that. When we factor in the exchange students, you're going to get a lot of people from France, from Belgium, from Germany, from Denmark, from Northern Europe mostly. And they usually come for 1 term. And they're pretty clever. They like to come in the winter. Yeah, like we don't notice that, but they're here all the time. But again, you're going to have some classmates from different countries. Again, these are all options. We do have 1 class, or actually this term, we have 2 classes, which go on a study abroad as part of the class. So you sign up for this class. The class is going to run for maybe 6 weeks. It's a half class, basically. But one of the classes goes to Germany, and they go on company visits, and then you come back and you work on your project once you're back in Thailand. And the other one is going to in US, in Singapore. And so you study a little bit here and you study a little bit in US, you get a certificate from them. And then you also work on your project once you come back. Problem-based learning is how we developed this entire CMMU. We've been here for 26 years, and it's all based on the idea of learning by doing. That is really important at the master's level. It's not like listening to a lecture like undergrad days, right? That's not very good for the master's level. So problem-based learning, maybe we give you a problem and we don't tell you how to solve it. So now you're working on it going, how do we do this? And then over time, we give you some tips on how you can work out this problem. Other times, maybe we talk about how you solve problems, and then we give you the problem. So sometimes we're talking about it in advance. Sometimes we talk about it afterwards and let you kind of stew on it to try to figure it out first. But there's different techniques, and this can involve case studies. It can involve a real live project, sometimes with a real company. It could involve your own company. It could involve computer simulation. So there's lots of different variations of this, but you won't be, how about that? You won't be sitting in the classroom listening to a lecture, not very long. You get a lot of access to databases and software. I don't know how much this means to you, but you don't have to go to Pantip anymore. You can actually get the licensed version of Office if you want to, either Office 2021 or Office 365. You will have a student ID. Student ID will also allow you to get 10% discount from Apple. Hey, that's worth thinking about, but only for the computers, not for the phone, not for the tablet. We have a financial lab in the library, which has access to a lot of databases. What kind of database would you be interested? Well, Euromonitor, that's a very interesting database because reports from Euromonitor might cost you somewhere from 300 to 800 euros. So that might be like 30,000 baht, and you get some report about the Thai market, about some industry, something like that. So it's a nice access to have. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You can also access other databases, including the journal articles, which we would sometimes use for class projects. Adobe Creative Cloud is very expensive. So if you like to use things like Photoshop or Adobe Rush, you have access to that as well. SPSS, sorry, is about statistical analysis. Sometimes we use that in class. If you walk around a little bit, you'll see our classrooms tend to be like this. A lot of times we have whiteboards built into the room, so we don't need to use these flip charts. Again, international program, we're seated in groups. We also have the online option. Ajahn Kanyapat is here. If you want to wave, if anybody has any questions about studying online, that's also an option to consider. Yeah, it's hard to describe, really. Interactive classroom and a small class size is very different from sitting in a lecture room with a lot of people. It's fun. The people who come to CMMU are eager to learn. They're hungry. They want to get ahead. They want to succeed in their business or their family business. A lot of times they had classmates or colleagues who studied with us, and then they see that they got promoted and they want to follow in their footsteps and have that kind of success. But it's very different compared to other programs in other universities. You can ask me about it. I've taught for probably 12 different universities in Thailand. So they're very, very different cultures between Mahidol and Chula and Thananusak and Pasamit and AIT and Webster and everybody else. Again, we have networking parties pretty much every term, and we have other optional activities every term ongoing. So pretty much every weekend, you just check, the TV screen, what's going on, check the Facebook page, check the LinkedIn page, and see what kind of activities are coming along. And if you're interested, sign up. They're for free. So we're going to break into just small groups, very informal. If you have any questions about any of our specializations, we have 5 specializations. So we have, they're all masters in management. So no matter what, you're going to be studying management. But if you're interested in marketing, you can talk to me. We have healthcare and wellness. Is it Ajahn Trin? We have our corporate finance. Is anyone here for that? Okay. Normally Ajahn Simon would be that. And also entrepreneurship or not? No? Entrepreneurship? Nobody today? Okay. Well, if you have questions about any program, you can talk to any of us. It doesn't matter. We're not running management research right now because it's a bit too small in terms of the supply and demand, and the same thing for sustainability. But corporate finance, kind of self-explanatory. Entrepreneurship, they basically have 3 different kind of ways to join this program. It can be about family business, it can be about franchise business, or it can be about starting your own business. So those are all options within the entrepreneurship program. It's been popular for a long time. Healthcare and wellness has become more and more popular over the years. Some of the people in healthcare and wellness are people who are managing the hospital or want to manage the hospital. A lot of the people in healthcare and wellness are medical doctors. So this is kind of wild. Your classmates may be medical doctors. So when I finish class, I go, ow, could you look at my arm? Yeah, no, just kidding. But it is kind of fun. It brings a lot of diversity. Sustainability, we haven't had enough interest so far to open this program. But I think in the future, it has a lot of opportunity. CMMU does a lot in sustainability. So we have many different faculty who are researching and talking about sustainability. Last month, we gave out awards to 7 different companies about ESG, about environment, about social and governance. Next month, I've been invited to give a talk at the United Nations about sustainability and sustainable consumption. So we're pretty high profile when it comes to sustainability issues. And general management, which is sort of our version of an MBA. The online program is also more like general management, but you have a lot more electives. With that, let's break into small groups. If you have any questions about any of the programs, you can ask any of us, but more specifically, I'm here about marketing. We have finance. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Finance. We have Ajahn Trin. We have Ajahn Kanyapat, if you're interested in international, online. Yeah. And if you have any questions about CMMU in general, you can ask any of us. Okay, so thank you for coming today. Good way to spend a Saturday. You can always find a protest later. No, just kidding.